Hello guys, welcome to the fiction series. Today we are gonna see, what if Naruto got Harem Android 18, Zangya and Vados? The short movie. Huge shout out to HaretaSora for this story. If you want more awesome fanfiction like this, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. So without wasting any time, let's get into the video. Strength. What one does with it all depends on their character. Some used it to terrorize, others to teach and nurture, and some just to help out whenever trouble arose around them. Life as an orphan on the street made him learn quickly about the pecking order amongst street rats like him. He might have been less than content with how things were, but he bit his tongue and went along with things to survive. That was, until he was saved by an old man who was able to single-handedly defeat a gang that had been using him as bait to mug tourists. He hated being a part of things, but it wasn't really something he had much of a choice in given his circumstances. When the man had taken down the gang, he begged the man to train him on the spot, wanting to be able to defend himself and help others like the man had. He literally thought the man would reject him on the spot, but, to this day, he still remembered the warm look in the man's eyes as he crouched down with a smile and accepted him. From there the man was his friend, his father figure, and his strictest teacher, as he taught him everything he could. One teacher eventually turned to two after meeting his teacher's brother, and then, after a lot of reluctance on their part, three with his last teacher. Living at a dojo from a young age and constantly training really wasn't that bad, as he was beyond happy to be off the street, and he even made some friends with his fellow students, as well as some people he met along the way. The peaceful times he enjoyed were nice, other than the occasional monster that showed up, but he and his fellow students worked to take them out whenever they showed up. Things had started to get a bit dangerous on the other side of the planet, with talks of androids and people disappearing, only to come to a head when a weird bug-looking man announced on TV how he was holding a tournament with the fate of the planet on the line in 10 days. It was quickly decided that he'd go to fight the creature named Cell, his masters deciding it was a task for those younger than them, and with a bit of scrounging up funds and quickly packing of essentials and food, he flew to put his hat in the ring as a fighter in Cell's tournament. "I'm bored." Maybe 10 days was too long, Cell muttered to himself as he stood in the center of his ring for another night, getting a bit bored from waiting so long. The only upside about it was that these were the last few days before it all began, so there wasn't that much more waiting he had to do until his big tournament. "Well, just think of it as 10 days for your opponents to get ready and get here in time," a male's voice spoke out, Cell turning to see a man walking out from behind the rocks and making his way towards him. The man's features were completely hidden. Only his face from the tip of his nose down was visible due to the tattered black hooded cloak he wore, with a large brown backpack on his back and a pair of wooden sandals that clicked with each step. He was actually a bit surprised he hadn't sensed the man coming, but with a quick scan of him it made sense, as he could only read an incredibly low power level from him. A feeble human is joining the tournament? Well, we'll see if he can survive being knocked out of the ring. Not that I mind or care about killing one more human, Cell thought with an eye roll. "I guess that is one way to look at it, but you are quite early," he said as the man chuckled and nodded. "Well, I live on the other side of the planet, so it took me a while to fly here in the pandemonium you caused with your announcement, and then I had to walk here. I felt it'd be better to be early than late." "You don't mind if I camp out here, do you?" the man asked, as Cell merely shrugged. "I couldn't care less, but if you bother me with noise I might kill you before the tournament, fighter or not, so be mindful," Cell warned, half expecting the man to panic, but was again surprised at how the man merely nodded and started to walk off a good ways away from the ring and start to unpack things from his bag. "Don't worry, you won't even know I'm here," the man said as he started to set up his tent. The threat of death doesn't seem to bother him at all, either from fighting me or me potentially wiping him out if he's an annoyance to me. Humans sure are odd, Cell thought with a shake of his head before he couldn't help but smirk a bit. General POV day of the Cell Games. All was quiet as the day of the Cell Games had arrived. Both Cell and the man who had camped out silent and waiting for everyone else to arrive as the last 20 minutes counted down. The only noise in the clearing was of the TV reporter up on a nearby ridge as he talked, thinking that he couldn't be heard. Though it didn't take long for someone else to show up, a fancy black car arriving before a tall, rather muscular man with a curly black afro and a mustache stepped out. The man wore a black gi that had a very deep cut to it to show off his very hairy chest, with white pants, black boots, and a white high-collared cape. "It's him. Mr. Satan has arrived," the TV reporter announced, getting the apparent Mr. Satan to turn towards the news reporter with a fist raised in the air and a confident smile on his face. He's looking into the camera and responding to everyone's enthusiasm by waving his fists in the air. The reporter continued as Cell merely looked over at him with a straight face as Mr. Satan stared back. He seemed to be all for the attention, pointing to Cell before giving him a thumbs down as if to say he's going down. Wow! Mr. Satan's already declared he's here to fight. He's incredible. He's the incredible grand champion of the martial arts. It looks like Cell can't hide his fear at having to fight the strongest man on earth. The announcer raved, both Cell and the cloaked man merely looking over at Mr. Satan in pure confusion. What is that trash? Cell bluntly stated, almost not believing that humans could be this stupid. Sure, there was already one normal human here, but at least unlike this new one, the first wasn't so annoying. The Cell games are about to begin. Only 12 minutes left, and he's already planning on entering the ring. Cell versus Mr. Satan. I think Mr. Satan is slightly stronger than Cell, but we shall see, as who knows the true limit to Mr. Satan's power, the announcer declared, watching as Mr. Satan stepped into the ring. Mr. Satan, was it? I know you're excited, but I was here first. I flew here from the other side of the planet and camped out here for a few days so I wouldn't miss it, the cloaked man said, Cell smirking a bit as he could hear the restrained annoyance in the man's voice. Look, kid, we both know you ain't got a snowball's chance in hell of beating him, so how about leaving him to someone who can actually defeat him to save yourself the humiliation of being beaten in one hit on live television? Mr. Satan barked out, trying to wave him off while laughing loudly. You know what? Fine. You can fight him first, but don't blame me when you get sent flying and embedded in a mountain or possibly die, the man said with a sigh as he shook his head out of exasperation, while Mr. Satan waved down the reporter for an interview. The man, though, was more interested in another new arrival, this person arriving via flight and landing a bit away from him. Oh, Vegeta, I knew you wouldn't wait for the others. I hope you've gotten stronger, Cell said, showing the others he knew the man in a sense, though the glare that Vegeta was giving him showed it wasn't friendly. Though it also seemed he wasn't keen on talking with anyone as the glare carried over to the TV reporter as he walked over towards him. Who are you? If you're just here to watch like the other man, then this is a little too close to be safe, the reporter told him before Vegeta coldly glared at him. Get out of here and don't talk to me ever again, Vegeta said before the reporter walked away, glaring back for a bit before whispering to Mr. Satan a bit. Only 5 minutes left. In only 5 minutes the fate of the Earth will be decided in the Cell Games. As we imagined, Mr. Satan was the only man truly brave enough to come here to fight Cell. But that's just natural, as Mr. Satan is the world's martial arts champion. He's all we need, the reporter announced, totally ignoring the cloaked man and Vegeta entirely to solely focus on Mr. Satan. Ah, Goku, so you finally came. I'd been waiting for this, Cell said with a smile as they all watched as 7 figures landed a bit to the side of Vegeta with another landing a bit away from them. Oh, I'm surprised. I wasn't expecting you, 16. Truthfully, I didn't even know you still existed, Cell added as he looked over to a rather tall and stoic-faced man who didn't pay him much mind before he walked over and talked to some of the group that had just arrived. It's time. Whoever wants to be first can be first, but have him come now, Cell told them, clearly tired of waiting before Mr. Satan puffed out his chest. I'll be first, obviously, Mr. Satan said with the man with blonde hair who he believes is named Goku due to how Cell looked over at him after saying that name earlier, just about to interrupt before the cloaked man cleared his throat and shook his head. Trust me, I already tried to warn him he might die or get seriously injured, and honestly, just let him, as I doubt anything we say will get through that ego, the cloaked man warned him, getting a glare from the TV reporter before turning their attention back on Mr. Satan. To say Mr. Satan was an arrogant idiot who was beyond full of himself was an understatement in the truest sense of the word, from brandishing a champion belt to chopping a stack of 15 roof tiles which clearly hurt the man's hand and then declaring he'll destroy Cell just like he did the roof tiles was something else. As the last minute before it all began ticked down, either Mr. Satan or the TV reporter led up, both being boisterous and ridiculous about how Mr. Satan is going to defeat Cell without a shred of doubt, but as the fight began, it went just about how everyone expected it to go. Mr. Satan had let out a barrage of kicks and punches before Cell, who only had so much patience, decided enough was enough and swatted Mr. Satan away. The result ended up being Mr. Satan embedded in a mountain, clearly knocked unconscious due to only the whites of his eyes behind visible as blood leaked from his mouth a bit, which also showed several teeth were now missing, while blood also dripped down his forehead. "Don't worry, he isn't dead. He's not even worth killing," Cell said with an eye roll as the TV reporter was left shocked as they recorded the sight. "Now, as much as I want to fight Goku next, even I have to acknowledge the one who has been waiting this long. Though, after seeing all that, do you still wish to fight?" he added before turning towards the cloaked figure to ask and see if he really was going to still do this, only to get a nod from the man as he started up the stairs. "Come on, Cell might actually kill you. Just leave this to us. We have a plan," Goku tried to tell the man, only for him to take off his cloak and throw it over at Goku. The man actually turned out to be rather young, easily only 17, with tannish skin that bore 3 whisker marks on each cheek, bright blue eyes, and gravity-defying spiky dark red hair with 2 spiky bangs to frame his face. He wore a dark gray, just about black, gi that had the kanji for silver and fang inside a circle, all done in silver, with a gray belt around his waist. "And I've got one too, so don't interfere," the man told him as he walked up onto the ring. "Naruto main POV/General, my name is Naruto Uzumaki, student of the Silver Fang Dojo in Z City. I look forward to our fight," Naruto said with a smile as he took a calming breath and got into his fighting stance, which, to others, reminded them of a praying mantis. "Just try not to die," Cell bluntly told him as he appeared in front of Naruto, everyone bracing themselves for him being sent flying as Cell threw another backhand to swiftly finish things. Everyone, though, was surprised as Naruto was able to deflect the strike with a flowing motion away to the side and, almost immediately at the same time, launched a strike to Cell's chest which sent the android skidding back a bit. "Oh, I'll admit I was not expecting that, but we both know that that was the only hit you are going to get on me," Cell told him as he walked back towards him, his eyes showing some ever so slight annoyance before he appeared in front of Naruto and threw a punch directed at his face. Naruto merely met his gaze as he once again deflected Cell's punch and struck him hard in the face, which once again sent him skidding back, only much harder than before. He could see the anger gradually building up in the android's face as he once again stopped his flight backwards while Naruto walked towards him. "Fist of the Flowing Water, Crushing Rock, that's one of the 3 styles I know. It's a powerful style that is the perfect blend of offense and defense that allows me to repel attacks, nullify them, or redirect them with twice the power, so trust me when I say I'll get more than one hit," Naruto said with a bit of a smirk before he instantly started deflecting Cell's barrage of attacks that the android started to unleash. "Whoa. The kid is actually holding his own," Krillin said in shock, having to rub his eyes a bit to make sure he was actually seeing things correctly. "Yes, but his power level is remaining the same, which he's either holding back or he can somehow be this physically strong despite being so below average," Vegeta pointed out, surprised that the kid was able to hold off against Cell like this while his power level was this low. "Has anyone heard of his dojo or that fighting style before?" Yamcha asked before he looked over to Tien, given he used to be part of a major dojo. "I think I remember my old master mentioning the Silver Fang Dojo, but it's nowhere near here, on the other side of the world from what I remember, so he never really had a reason to mention it much, and I never asked," Tien told them, his eyes along with everyone else's still focused on the fight. Naruto was surprised at how relentless Cell's attacks were, but, as an android, he doubted Cell could really tire out so easily, and neither would he, but at the same time he was growing tired of just being defensive. "You're good for a puny human, but it's time you stop wasting my time so I can get to the real fight," Cell yelled out before Naruto powerfully deflected his strikes, pushing his arms away, giving him a momentary opening which was seemingly all he needed, as the next second Cell found himself barraged by a torrent of seemingly endless strikes. Cell actually had to seriously focus on keeping his footing to not be sent flying, Naruto's strikes keeping his arms from moving at all to block or push away the attacks. The attacks were not only blocking his movement, but also getting more and more powerful with each passing second, to the point he could feel things starting to break. "Enough!" Cell yelled as he flared his ki, using his ki to push Naruto back in hopes he would be sent out of the ring, only for Naruto to leap back on his own accord. As the dust from the shockwave that slightly damaged the arena cleared, everyone was shocked, Cell most of all, as both of his arms from the shoulders down were gone and in Naruto's hands. "Okay, you know what? Maybe you are a worthy opponent after all," Cell said through gritted teeth as he regrew his arms, I've revised my thoughts. I want to enjoy killing you, so I'm dissolving the ring out rule, so now you can only survive if you give up before I kill you. Cell threatened, flaring his aura, which pushed back everyone except for Naruto, who merely watched as Cell flew up into the air and started to fire off ki blasts. Naruto was able to stop the first few blasts by throwing up Cell's arms to blow up and take the hit before he started to deflect the ki blasts with his fist of the flowing water, crushing rock. He had to be careful where he deflected them so he didn't end up accidentally hitting any of those watching, like the reporters or the other fighters. Curious to see how you'll handle this. Cell yelled as the ki blast stopped, and he saw Cell charging an attack in his hand as his aura grew even stronger. He's going to fire a full-strength Kamehameha at Earth. He's gonna end up destroying it. Krillin yelled in shock, looking around as he tried to figure out what to do. Kid! Can you fly? Vegeta yelled out as Naruto shook his head and just seemed to be readying his footing with a clenched fist, all of them surprised that he was seemingly getting ready to punch it, but also surprised at how high his power level was rising without any aura flaring around him. The kid is going to end up getting himself and everyone killed. Goku yelled as he flew towards him, putting a hand on his shoulder, and tried to pull him away. This isn't something you can hit or deflect. We need to figure something, Goku started to say before he was sent flying hard, feeling himself crash through at least 3 mountains before his flight stopped with him being embedded in the middle of a mountain. Don't interfere with my fight, I know what I'm doing. Naruto yelled at all of them, glaring at them before his power level disappeared for everyone. Haim. Ha! Cell yelled as he fired off his attack while everyone just watched as Naruto merely watched as it shot towards him. Serious punch! Naruto yelled as he threw a punch straight up at the attack, the force from it sending everyone flying back while they watched the Kamehameha and Cell get obliterated with Cell's legs thudding to the arena floor. The kid cancelled it out with a punch. Piccolo said in shock as they all merely stared in shock at the sight they had just witnessed. But he did it! He killed Cell! Yamcha exclaimed with a massive smile before Trunks shook his head. Cell can regenerate, he'll be back soon, Trunks told him, all of them watching as Cell's legs started to twitch and slowly regenerate. Vegeta, though, was less focused on the legs and more on the kid's power level, which had finally returned and was lowering again. His power level was rising and then it disappeared, now it returns and it's lowering. He thought in slight confusion before his eyes widened just as Cell regenerated as he realized what that meant. It meant the kid's power level had gotten to a point none of them could sense it, which was very hard to believe. But then again, the kid had just cancelled out a technique possible of destroying the Earth with a single punch. Just how much are you holding back? Cell asked through gritted teeth before Naruto appeared in front of him in a surprising burst of speed. First rule of fighting, never show your full strength at the start, Naruto said as he started firing off another barrage of strikes on Cell, with Cell once again trying to match blows or dodge, either of which worked. Naruto could feel Cell's rage growing with each hit Naruto made on him, and each hit he deflected from the android, and knowing that anger and rage led to mistakes, he decided to push Cell further, purposefully giving Cell an opening as bait. You cannot be stronger than me. I am the ultimate life form. The perfect life form. There is no reason I should be losing to you or even struggling when you are a mere human. Cell roared in pure rage as he did just what Naruto expected and fell for the bait, throwing a full-powered punch directly at him. Don't underestimate me, especially when I don't even need to be the one throwing the punch to hurt you, Naruto said as he could only smirk as he used his fist of the flowing water, crushing rock to effortlessly redirect the punch and increase the force of it right back into the android's own face. The kid is playing with Cell but actually has the power to back it up, Vegeta said with a bit of a frown before he and the others noticed that Goku had returned, which made Vegeta chuckle a bit. Finally out of the mountain he smacked you into? You knew he was strong if he was able to hurt Cell this much, but you still felt you had to get involved. Maybe next time don't interfere in another man's fights, Vegeta bluntly told him with a glare. Goku merely looking back with narrowed eyes to show he wasn't going to get into it before looking back towards the fight with Cell. He shouldn't be playing around with Cell, he needs to defeat him before he does something drastic, Goku said with a frown, only for Piccolo to shake his head as he felt it was more than that. I think he's doing it for a reason, he's looking for the limit to Cell's regeneration. He knows it takes energy for him to do it, and is trying to see how much he can regenerate from. Piccolo theorized since there was a difference between being beepy and messing around and actual strategy, as they watched as Cell staggered backwards. This seemed to be the breaking point for Cell as the android spit out a few teeth before letting out an earth-shaking roar of pure rage as his aura flared. While Naruto found it a bit odd to see Cell grow to a truly massive size, at the same time, if anything, this made him a much easier target. "You little shit! I refuse to struggle any further against you," Cell roared as he swung his massive fist down at Naruto. "Everyone! Get the regular humans away from here!" Naruto warned them as he leapt back to avoid the punch, the arena absolutely shattering to pieces while he thankfully saw the man Cell called 16 taking the TV crew to safety. "What? Can't deflect my punches now? Too strong for you?" Cell asked with a massive smile as he threw another punch towards the teen only for it to be stopped effortlessly. Everyone around them noticed the change in Naruto's stance, and the shape his hands took as now they were forming the shape of claws with his thumbs and first two fingers. "No, I just wanted the humans away so they weren't in danger," Naruto told him as a gust of wind spiraled up Cell's arm. "Plus this size makes you so much easier to cut up with my fist of whirling wind, slashing steel," he added with a smirk as Cell, and everyone else, watched as Cell's arm was instantly chopped up into pieces up to his shoulder. "You little pest! I am done with you damaging my perfect body, so moo dash!" Cell roared before he was cut off by a powerful punch to his gut that made his eyes widen and bulge out a bit. It only got worse as his mouth puffed up, looking like he was about to puke only for him to actually puke, which turned out to be a woman of all things. "It's 18! He puked up 18! Krillin yelled as Cell stared down at the sight in shock before extending his tail to try and absorb her again only to be kicked away like it was nothing. 18 was in a daze and barely conscious, only seeing a red-haired teen save her from Cell absorbing her again before he gently picked her up. "I don't know how you were inside, Cell, but I've got you. I promise I won't let him get you again," Naruto told her before she found herself sitting up against some rocks with the boy crouched down beside her. "Where's 17? 18 asked, still in a daze as Naruto frowned and looked back at Cell, who was slumped over and twitching weirdly. "Is he also inside, Cell?" he asked, only getting a weak nod and what sounded like an attempt to say brother from her before Naruto stood back up and cracked his neck. "Then I'll try and make him puke up as well," he assured her before Cell roared out and they watched his appearance change. He changed back. "He's not in his perfect form anymore," Trunks yelled out as Naruto walked towards him with a serious and driven look on his face. "I think you got one more person inside you, someone going by 17? I'm gonna need you to puke him up next, so be a good bug thing and let them go," Naruto told him, which only got a beyond furious glare from Cell. "I won't let you win! I won't forgive you!" he screamed before they all watched as Cell started to bloat up and blow up like a balloon until he was a massive fat blob who was laughing grossly. "This is the end of you bastards. I'm going to blow up in 1 minute and take the earth with me. And if you hit me, I'll explode instantly." He laughed out as he only kept growing. "Kid, do you have a way to take care of this?" Vegeta yelled out, believing if he could counter Cell's full power Kamehameha with a single punch, then he might have something in mind to deal with this. "I think so, but I need to know which direction is safe to hit towards. I need a direction with no people behind him," Naruto yelled back as he stared down Cell, his fists clenched while Vegeta and the others sensed his power level rise incredibly quick only to disappear again. "He said he'll explode if you hit him." "Don't be stupid!" Goku yelled before Piccolo pointed to the east. "There are no people to the east for a long while. Whatever you have planned, do it in that direction," Piccolo told him before Naruto quickly got into position and cracked his knuckles, everyone watching as he got into a stance. "You idiot! You hit me and I'll blow up instantly," Cell yelled at him only for Naruto to smirk up at him. "Depends on if I can obliterate you faster than you can detonate," Naruto simply said before taking a deep breath and readying his fists. "Normal series. Two-handed consecutive normal punches," he said as he let out an insane barrage of punches that no one could follow. To them his arms looked either like a blur or as if they had disappeared due to how fast they were moving. Cell's body also had an instant change, going from seemingly no effect to him being blown to pieces in a matter of what seemed to be half a second. The intense explosion from Cell's self-destruction was seemingly fired off in the direction Naruto had been punching him instead of outwards in every direction. The power of the explosion, while still making the earth shake, seemed to be lessened due to Naruto's continued punching, and by the time it died down everyone realized why he wanted a direction with no people due to the utterly massive trench left behind that went on for many, many miles. Is he dead? Yamcha asked in shock from the sight, Naruto frowning as he looked around despite the large amount of dust in the air. I'm not sure. I don't know how much he can regenerate from, and I don't know if I fully destroyed him, as I was more focused on directing the blast, Naruto told them before a powerful burst of ki shot the dust away. Naruto was quick to leap in the way of a beam attack, using his fist of the flowing water, crushing rock to redirect it downwards to protect one of the people watching the fight. Of course you aren't dead. That's what I get for not going serious and just focusing on the blast, Naruto said with a sigh as the dust cleared to show Cell back in his perfect form and now sporting a stronger aura with electricity crackling in it. Yes, it is cause you see, I have a small cluster of cells in my head that are in charge of healing me when I've been injured, so as long as that isn't destroyed then I can continue to regenerate this body, Cell explained as Naruto silently berated himself for not noticing it but also a bit surprised he hadn't destroyed it yet with his punches. Then again, I had no idea it existed, and it's probably incredibly small and durable if it's been able to survive all of this, and given I've not directly aimed for it, it's not too surprising that it's survived, Naruto thought to himself before Cell motioned to his body. I was honestly very fortunate that the cluster survived your onslaught, as well as the explosion itself. Not only does it seem that my body memorized my perfect form, but, due to my Scion DNA, I have achieved an incredible boost in power. Cell bragged before Naruto appeared in a burst of speed and slammed his fist into his gut again, and sent him flying backwards until he stopped himself. Cell once again looked like he was about to puke, but, as he tried to hold it in, Naruto appeared in front of him and hit him in the gut again. This time he wasn't sent flying back though, due to Naruto putting a hand on his shoulder to keep him in place. Sorry, I'm going to need you to puke up 17. Promised the lady you puked up I'd get her brother, Naruto told him as he continued to punch Cell in the gut until his knees finally buckled. The person he puked up this time was indeed a man, and, just like with 18, he was quick to grab him and get him to safety. Anyone else inside him? Naruto asked 18, getting a weak shake of her head as Naruto laid the completely unconscious man down on the ground. Then that means I can focus on killing him, Naruto said as he stood back up and looked towards Cell, who was completely hunched over, his form shifting weirdly as if he was trying to hold back to stop himself from devolving. He was able to get him to puke up both androids, and yet Cell is still this powerful? Can this kid even kill him? Yamcha asked as Vegeta scoffed, and rolled his eyes before Piccolo looked over to the kid as he walked back towards Cell. The kid has been holding back a lot. Either to prolong the fight or to learn Cell's limits, I'm not sure, but now that he knows the source of Cell's regeneration and freed what he thinks are hostages, I feel we're about to see the end of this fight, Piccolo told them, figuring this was the same thing Vegeta was thinking before they all turned back towards the fight as Cell finally stood up. I couldn't care less about the androids now, given I don't need them to be perfect, but would you stop making me puke, you little brat? Cell yelled out, beyond angry if his aura was anything to go by as his form stopped shifting. You might be strong, but you can't seem to be able to actually kill me. All your damage does is just make me stronger. Cell boasted before Naruto slammed down his foot and caused a powerful shockwave through the ground, countering Cell's aura before he took a deep breath with a long and slow exhale. That's because I was toying with you, since if I go full power I'll end all my fights with one hit. Call it a bit of a double-edged sword if you will. Now I'm done playing, given you might end up causing too much damage, and now I'm pulling out all the stops, Naruto told him as his stance changed once again, this time almost resembling both of his martial art styles at the same time. Normally this technique of mine requires two people, one to use each style that I've shown you, but I don't have a partner, so I trained intensely to learn how to do it on my own, and it will be what I use to completely destroy you, Naruto told him before Cell leaped back and started to charge the same attack from before again, only it being clearly stronger than before. Then I'll finish things off with my final technique as well, a Kamehameha with enough power to destroy the entire solar system. Cell yelled out with a furious glare as it grew stronger and stronger in his hands. Get everyone away from here. 16. Take 17 and 18 away. Everyone else get the humans even further away from here. Naruto yelled to the others, referring to the TV crew who were still too close for comfort even if they were further away than when the fight started. What about you? There's no way you can stop his attack. Goku yelled before Vegeta grabbed his shoulder and threw him backwards roughly, his own aura flaring strongly as Vegeta was getting pissed off at Goku. Leave Cell to the kid and stop worrying about him. It's insulting Kakarot. If he's been able to fight Cell this one-sided, then he can handle this. Vegeta scolded, the look in his eyes making it clear how pissed off he was and warning Goku to not try anything before Vegeta looked towards Naruto. You'd better survive, kid. I have a lot I want to talk to you about after this. Vegeta yelled at him, getting merely a nod from him before they flew off and Cell finally fired his attack. As the seriously massive blast made its way towards him, time somewhat slowed down due to his reaction time and reflexes being so high. He knew a serious punch would only split it down the middle, still heavily endangering Earth. Instead, he decided to use the power that he put into a serious punch and utilize it differently as he remembered his master's words about energy attacks. No matter the size or the shape, energy is energy and can flow like water as long as you are strong enough and your body is durable enough to do so, Naruto reminded himself as he got into his flowing water, crushing rock stance and started to break apart the blast, sending strings and streams of energy out in safe directions where with the lessened power due to it being broken apart they weren't a danger to the planet. The main difficulty was breaking down the massive front part of the attack, but as he worked to dissolve it as it crashed into him it turned out to not be that difficult. He could see Cell's rage and anger as the front of the attack was dissipated, leaving only the beam which was more than easy to destroy and run through while also allowing him to go into his dual-style stance again. How are you, a mere human, as strong as me, a perfect being? Cell roared in utter fury as he leapt back a good distance only to charge his aura and fly towards him at full speed. I'm done talking, Cell, you've endangered the world too much. I'm going to kill you once and for all, Naruto told him as he stood waiting, ready to attack, in his stance before Cell rushed at him. Whirling wind, flowing water, fist of roaring chi, rending air, Naruto said as he struck Cell's chest. A powerful shockwave burst out on impact, the android's eyes going wide as slowly, from the center outwards, he started to turn to dust. How could I, a perfect being, lose to someone like you? Cell growled out with nothing but venom in his tone as he fell to his knees, his body still breaking apart. You just got matched up against the wrong opponent, but you would have lost to the others here just the same, so enjoy hell, Naruto plainly told him as he felt the others return just in time to see Cell completely crumble away into dust until there was nothing left. Everyone seemed to be in various degrees of shock, either visible or expertly masked, as Naruto simply smiled. I can't believe it. Some random kid did what Mr. Satan couldn't. The TV reporter said in shock as they fell to the ground as Naruto noticed the camera was pointing towards him, though he didn't pay it any mind other than a quick smile and a peace sign before he stopped as he remembered something. Oh yeah, someone might want to get Mr. Satan out of the mountain he's still embedded in. Check his injuries a bit, Naruto said, pointing his thumb over to the mountain where Mr. Satan was still stuck in and still unconscious, surprising Naruto a bit that it hadn't been destroyed yet due to everything, which got the TV crew to turn the camera over there and zoom in. Hey! Don't record that! The host yelled, not wanting to show Mr. Satan's failure, while Naruto just chuckled and he walked towards 16 who had set back down 17 and 18. How are they? Naruto asked the tall and stoic android who was crouched down beside them. 17 is still unconscious and 18 passed out a bit after I moved her, 16 told him, still looking at the two androids before finally turning his way. Why do you worry about them? Do you not know who or what they are? He asked as he stood up while the others made their way over as well. Yeah kid, those two are murderous androids. It'd be a lot safer if they died here and now, Trunks warned him, an attack flaring in his hand before Vegeta stepped in to stop him by grabbing his wrist before Naruto did anything. Trunks, leave it be. If he wants to save the androids, then so be it. I feel he's earned the choice after everything he just did for all of us, plus if they really do become a danger we are strong enough to take them out, Vegeta told him, giving him a look that told him to leave it before he let go of his wrist, and his son stopped his attack. Look, I don't know who they are or what they did, but what better a time for a new leaf or second chance than after being puked up by some weird bug man android thing, and if they do try something then I'll arrest them or whatever. Naruto told Trunks, personally not wanting to just kill them as his gut told him that they weren't any real danger going forward. Fine, whatever. In the end, guess their fate doesn't matter with Cell being defeated. Trunks grumbled before Piccolo stepped forward. As much as I'm for talking, Piccolo said, sarcasm heavy in his tone. I think we need to be going. We still need to wish back everyone who died after Cell, he added as Naruto looked at him confused, unsure what he meant. The kid's coming with us. I have a lot of stuff I need to ask him, Vegeta decided, stepping forward while Naruto just sighed since while he just met the man he knew just from looking at him that he wasn't about to drop things. Fine, whatever, I'll go with you guys, but 16, was it? Naruto asked as he turned towards the red-haired android, getting a nod from him as he stayed crouched beside the two other androids. Sure, he had called out to him during the fight, but 16 wasn't quite a name, but then again he did just fight a weird bug android man, so who was to say a number couldn't be a name? Could you and the others stay here please? I want to talk to them and check on them once things are done with these guys, Naruto asked since he did want to talk to them a bit, and, now that he was made aware, ensure they wouldn't potentially cause trouble. I'll make sure they stay here if they wake up before you return. Thank you for saving them, 16 told him in a solemn tone with a bow of his head before Naruto nodded back and turned towards the others. So? Where are we going as? Keep in mind, I can't fly, Naruto reminded them before Vegeta nodded his head over to someone else nearby. Trunks, you'll carry him, just try not to move around too much, Vegeta said, pretty much signing him up for the duty before the long-haired teen just sighed and decided to go along with it. All that power, and you can't fly? Yamcha asked, confused as Naruto simply shrugged his shoulders. My masters said it's essentially a trade-off, my power in exchange for not being able to awaken ki. Don't really mind as I can jump really far and am fast enough to run on water when I need to, Naruto said as personally he never really had a need to fly around as most of the time he was content with running to where he needed to go. After all this is over with, I'd be careful around the androids in general. Even if you are strong enough to handle them, since they have powerful bombs in them that could wipe out cities if they decide to self-destruct, Trunks warned, Naruto merely nodding before the teen grabbed him and took off alongside the others. Naruto had flown before, so it really didn't bother him much as Trunks pretty much held onto his arms as they flew to some large platform that was seriously high up in the atmosphere. Welcome to Kami's lookout, though I guess it's Den's lookout now, Krillin welcomed as Naruto looked around, noting a small green kid who looked similar to Piccolo and another man whose skin was pitch black. So what was this about wishing people back? Naruto asked, confused what that meant and honestly finding it to sound a bit unsettling. We have a set of items called the Dragon Balls that, when all 7 are together, we can summon a being to grant us 3 wishes, but, with how we need to revive a large group of people, it reduces the number to 2, Piccolo explained, which got a frown from Naruto. Not quite sure how I like that you all pretty much can make death meaningless, but whatever, they're your items, so do whatever you want with them, Naruto said with a shrug as they paid him no mind, him simply watching as they brought out a set of 7 orange glass orbs, each with a different number of red stars inside it ranging from 1 to 7. Eternal Shinran. By your name I summon you forth, Piccolo declared, Naruto merely watching as the Dragon Balls started to glow brighter and brighter before a beam of light shot up into the air that quickly transformed into a massive green Chinese-style dragon, while the sky turned to night around them. I am the Eternal Dragon Shinran, I shall grant you 3 wishes. So speak. Shinran boomed out as Naruto let out an impressed whistle at the sight of the massive dragon. We wish to revive everyone who was killed by Cell, Goku declared as Shenron's eyes flashed red, most likely to show he had granted the wish. Your wish has been granted. I will grant you 1 more wish. Tell me your second wish. Shinran told them before Piccolo put his hand on Goku's shoulder and nodded over to Naruto. How about we give the kid the second wish? Only makes sense since he beat Cell for us, Piccolo suggested, getting a nod from Goku before he stepped to the side, and both of them looked to Naruto, as if to suggest he walk up to them. How about it? Have something you want to wish for? Goku asked while Naruto tentatively walked up to the dragon, not out of fear but more just unsure how to feel about a wish-granting dragon. Speak your wish, I shall grant it so long as it is within my power, Shinran declared as Naruto cleared his throat. So you can grant almost anything? Naruto asked, getting a nod from the dragon as he rubbed his chin in thought while trying to think up a wish. What about a wish regarding doing something to someone else, like androids 17 and 18? He asked as with no knowledge about how any of this worked he wanted to make sure this wasn't a monkey's paw or out-of-context genie situation. The androids you speak of are stronger than the one who created the Dragon Balls, so as long as your wish isn't to kill them or alter them too much I can grant your wish, Shiran explained, Naruto nodding as he hummed in thought. Then how about this? I wish to have the bombs that are inside Android 17 and Android 18 to be safely removed from their bodies. That should be fine, right? He wished, making sure to make his wish as clear as possible in case it was a genie situation as Shinran nodded. That is possible as power has nothing to do with removing such items from within them, Shinran explained before his eyes flashed red again. Your wish has been granted. Farewell, he declared before the Dragon Balls flew up into the air before shooting off in separate directions. You could have had anything. Why waste a wish on us? A new voice yelled out, Naruto looking over to see 18 running out from beside a nearby pillar. 18? What are you doing here? I thought you'd still be with 16. Naruto asked, a bit confused why she was here despite her clearly still not being all too well, which was evident by her looking out of breath and having to prop herself up with the pillar a bit. Naruto was just thankful that no one seemed to try and attack her despite her sudden appearance. I ditched him to follow after you and he couldn't follow after due to 17 still being passed out, but that doesn't matter. Answer the question, she demanded, though her panting and poorly hidden worry in her tone made it clear she wasn't actually angry or anything. I wish for that cause I really don't have anything I want that I can't earn or get on my own, and I figured, after being spat up, the only way to really give you a fresh start would be to remove the bombs endangering you and 17, Naruto simply told her with a shrug of his shoulders and a soft smile, getting an annoyed look on her face before she looked away. Don't expect a thank you for this, you weirdo, she yelled as she started to run off before stopping and looking back at him. Guess I'll see you later, grumbled before she ran off the platform and flew off. Whoa. That was weird, Yamcha muttered as Naruto shrugged his shoulders, somewhat agreeing but also understanding 18's behavior, since having a random stranger do all this for them was probably weird to her. He was just glad she was apparently still going to wait for him with 16 and 17. So? Now that that's over, what exactly do you want to ask me? Naruto asked as he looked over to Goku and Vegeta, knowing that they had some burning questions for him and were just about done being able to hold them in any longer. Your strength, how is someone as young as you so strong? Goku asked with a smile that showed he was quite excited, while Vegeta simply looked at him with a calm expression that showed he was paying close attention. I just trained with my 3 masters for around 12 years, learning their styles and fighting some occasional monsters that tend to pop up on my side of the world, Naruto explained before Vegeta slammed his fist against one of the palm trees. We aren't talking about your fighting styles. We are asking about your insane strength that allowed you to cancel out an attack that could have destroyed the earth with a single punch like it was barely anything and fight Cell like it was nothing, Vegeta all but demanded, getting a sigh from Naruto as he shook his head. Fine, I'll tell you. For 3 years I did 100 push-ups, 100 sit-ups, 100 squats, and ran 10 kilometers every day. I didn't use heat or AC for those years, and I pushed on even when I got to the point of vomiting blood. By the end of the 3 years I acquired this strength, Naruto told them, looking around at them and already knowing what was coming. Bullshit, Vegeta yelled out with an annoyed and angered look on his face. I do harder workouts under 100 times Earth's gravity, and didn't achieve that level of strength, he added as others nodded along. Yeah kid, we've all done workouts way harder than that, so that's kind of hard to believe, Goku added as he scratched his cheek, a bit unsure as well about Naruto's claims, as Naruto only sighed. No one ever believes me, but me and my sensei have achieved this strength through this regime, so I don't know what else to say, Naruto told them with a roll of his eyes, personally not caring if people didn't believe him, as his sensei pretty much told him it came with the territory of his strength. You can say that's all you did all you want kid, but there has to be something more to it than that. It just doesn't make sense, Vegeta said with a bit of an unsure look, his instincts telling him the kid wasn't lying, but personally this wasn't something he could easily believe even if the kid himself believed it. Guess I'll add them to the tally of people who don't believe you. A new voice spoke out, getting everyone on guard as Naruto simply turned to see a familiar face smirking at him as she rose up in the sky from under the lookout. The figure was Tatsumaki, a friend of his from back home. She was a petite woman, God help anyone who called her a kid, with emerald green eyes and short green hair that naturally curled at the ends, which gave it a weightless look. Her outfit was a black dress that was very form-fitting with long sleeves that had 4 high-cut leg slits that showed off her shapely long legs, with a pair of black heels to finish off her outfit. She also happened to be an Esper and the second strongest hero back home. Sure, what are we up to now? Like 40? Naruto asked as she lowered herself down onto the ground, smirking as she put a hand on her hip. Something like that, she said as she looked around, either of them really keeping count all that much. Who are you and how did you find us here? Piccolo asked, not quite liking that a random girl was able to show up here even if she apparently knew Naruto, since the lookout was supposed to have defenses against people sensing them here. Her name is Tatsumaki. She's a friend of mine and she kind of likes to keep tabs on me, Naruto explained, which got a kick on the back of his leg from Tatsumaki. Stop making it sound like I'm a stalker. I do that cause you're an idiot who gets into trouble and are in a new land. Of course I'd follow along to keep an eye on you, she explained with a roll of her eyes before turning to the others and looking them over a bit. Wait, you are looked after by a kid? Goku asked as Naruto flinched at the mention of kid, noticing how Tatsumaki already looked annoyed. I really wouldn't call her that, as she's not a kid, Naruto told Goku as he made a cutting motion over his neck to try and get him to stop. But she's shorter than my 10-year-old Soak, Goku started to say before he quickly glowed green and was sent crashing down hard into the floor, destroying the floor around him and shutting him up. This was far stronger from any telekinesis Goku had experienced in the past, as he found he couldn't move his eyes and could barely breathe as he was stuck in the floor, it still holding strong on him as he tried to flare his ki to break free. The pressure continued to push down on him, causing the floor tiles to crack more and more. I am 28 years old, so I'd advise shutting up before I send you crashing down through the floor and back to earth below, Tatsumaki warned, letting go once Naruto put a hand on her shoulder. Sorry about her, but I did warn you, Naruto said with a bit of a frown as Goku shakily pushed himself back up, dusting himself off as he got back onto his feet. Are all people from your side of the planet like this? Krillin asked, a bit afraid, since not only was Naruto insanely strong, but this new girl could somehow send Goku of all people crashing into the floor without even moving a muscle. I'd say there are a good handful who are, Naruto said, knowing a few who he felt were strong, though not quite on his and Tatsumaki's level. Then why haven't they shown up before? We dealt with the Scions and the Androids on our own, so why did it take Cell for you all to show up? Yamcha asked, getting a scoff from Tatsumaki. We have our own problems back home with monsters showing up all the time. Don't expect others to suddenly show up to save you, Tatsumaki explained with a roll of her eyes as she crossed her arms. Naruto only came here cause something about Cell caught his interest and worried it'd spell danger for the rest of the earth, she added with a shrug of her shoulders, as personally she didn't see the danger of Cell all that much, since she figured the people over here should be able to at least handle him. I got bored of monsters, so I wanted to see if Cell could make things interesting, and he sort of did, Naruto said with a sorta hand gesture, while the others. Geez, what kind of fights do you tend to have if fighting Cell only sort of interested you? Tien said with a confused look as Naruto simply shrugged his shoulders. It's just I was hoping to find some fights that I could let out more power in throughout the entire thing, not just in short bursts like I did with Cell. Who knows? I might stick around and see if anything else over here could get my interest, he told them before he started to walk towards the edge of the lookout. Though I need to find somewhere to live if I am. He muttered to himself as Tatsumaki picked up a large chunk of rock from the floor that had been broken when she slammed Goku into it for him to stand on. Wait, where will you be staying for the time being? Vegeta asked, surprising the others a bit that he would care or want to know. I guess I'll stick around the Cell Games arena for now. My stuff and my tent should still be there, as I didn't let any attacks go off that way, Naruto told him as Tatsumaki levitated over to his side, showing she was his ride off the lookout. If you guys want a spa or anything, that's where I'll be, he told them before Vegeta threw something at him, Naruto a bit surprised to see it was a phone. Keep it, it's a spare of mine. Since we can't sense your energy, or the androids, I don't want you disappearing. I'll call if I find somewhere for you to crash, Vegeta told him, once again shocking the others a good bit as Naruto nodded with a smile before he gave them a little salute as Tatsumaki and him flew off. That kid is something else, so is that girl. I couldn't even breathe when she held me down, Goku told them as he rubbed his still sore neck, still a bit surprised from how strong her telekinesis was, which seriously blindsided him. Yeah, and that was nothing to her. Not sure what her all-out would be, Piccolo said before they turned to Vegeta, a smirk on his face as he looked at the Scion Prince. But more importantly, what was that with the kid? You interested in him? He asked, getting a scoff from Vegeta. You'd have to be an idiot not to be, given how insanely strong that kid is, Vegeta told them as he walked over to the edge of the lookout and pointed at the small dot that Naruto and Tatsumaki had become in the distance. That kid has a power level so high we can't even sense him, and can punch so hard that it shatters an attack powerful enough to destroy the earth like it was nothing. I am not about to let someone like that go when he could help me grow to heights that could allow me to finally surpass you, Kakarot. The kid is mine. You're free to try and get him to help you as well if you want, but I'm having the first crack at him, he declared, getting a smirk from Goku as he was thinking the same way more or less. We'll see, as while the kid is insanely strong, I think sticking on Earth might be hindering me and endangering the rest of you as well. Bulma told me I attract evil people, and I think she might be right, so after getting things situated I'm going to head off and see more of the universe a bit, and see if I can find stronger people out there, Goku revealed, shocking everyone around them, but as they saw the look on his face, it showed he was very serious about this. Naruto's thoughts, as he sat on the rubble that Tatsumaki was carrying him on, was also looking towards the future. He'd lived most of his life in Bang's dojo learning from him, and, while he doubted his senseis would be against him going out on his own like this, it still felt odd to him. Don't think I won't be around just cause you are running off to stay here. I know a small handful of people who are the same as me in this regard, Tatsumaki told him, as if reading his mind, although he knew she wasn't able to read his. Thanks, that makes me feel less lonely, Naruto told her with a smile, chuckling as she quickly looked away with a blush he could still see on her cheeks. Whatever this side of the earth had in store for him, it felt nice to know he had some familiar faces by his side. Though he also felt he'd meet some interesting people here as well. It was safe to say he was excited and definitely looking forward to what was in store for him here. So this part ends here. Alright, that's it for today's video, guys. Let me know in the comment section how was the story. And also don't forget to like, share and subscribe. I will meet you in another video. Bye bye.